Hey everyone, Professor Rex here again with another lesson on argumentative essays. This time we are going to be focusing mostly on body paragraphs and the different components that make up a really healthy body paragraph. So again, I've explained this in previous videos before, but the reason why I'm creating these videos to share the components that go in these paragraphs is because a lot of the time I feel like when we enter into English classrooms, we are expected to have this like grand knowledge of everything that makes up a perfect essay. For me, I know that that was never my experience. I went from high school to college kind of playing the guessing game as to what made a really good essay. And then of course, after falling in love with the English language and learning it and devoting my life to being a professor, I really started to dig deep into the things that make up really healthy essays, and more specifically, the things that make up the really healthy paragraphs that build our essays. So with that being said, you know from my previous videos that I'm breaking down the different paragraphs. So we went over the introductions already, and today we're going to be focusing on the body paragraphs. So first things first, topic sentences. So topic sentences, or a topic sentence, is the very first sentence of a body paragraph. Now, the topic sentence, generally speaking, will relate or include some kind of keywords from the thesis statement. That signals your reader, hey, I remember when the writer of this paper said that we were going to be talking about this topic. Well, now we're talking about it. Okay? So like I explained in the introduction video when I was speaking about thesis statements, your thesis statement outlines the rest of your paper. So it has your argument and it has the topics that you are going to discuss in your paper and the order in which those topics are to be discussed. Now, your topic sentence is what you can look at it as, is a mini thesis statement for that body paragraph. It includes the argument of that paragraph along with the topic that you're going to be focusing on for that paragraph. That is why it's called a topic sentence. It includes the topic and the argument, but only for that paragraph. So your thesis statement included your argument along with multiple topics that your paper was going to discuss. Your topic sentence is going to be your argument plus the one topic that that paragraph is about. So if that paragraph, let's say it's about, that body paragraph is about what professors can do to make a more effective classroom, or an effective, we'll just say that, how professors can make a more effective classroom, then that means any research, any argument, any kind of analysis that I do in that paragraph is going to be discussing what professors can do or what professors have done in other classrooms or whatever. It has to relate to that topic. So with that being said, is if another topic in another paragraph is about what students can do, I'm not going to touch on that because that's not the topic for that paragraph. Okay, so that's what the topic sentence does. It outlines what that body paragraph is going to be about. All right, so I'm going to actually use my example template that we have been using for this class. So we have body paragraph number 1, and boom, it immediately starts with a topic sentence. Okay, again, topic sentence being the very first sentence of your entire body paragraph, and it outlines what your paragraph is going to be about. Yes, a topic sentence should only be one sentence. Please make sure it's only one sentence, and it's the very first one in your body paragraph. All right, so topic sentence, we're done with. Okay, so the next part here in blue, you'll see reads, make an argument and provide context so your source will seamlessly blend into the paragraph. So what happens a lot of the time is students will have a really nice topic sentence, and then they'll immediately jump into a source, and the reader's like, wait, what just happened? Like, we went from the writer talking to me to all of a sudden boom, being into a source or a quote. We don't want to just be like boom to our readers, right? We want to make sure that we're transitioning them in the proper way, leading them to our ultimate and final boom moment, which is your entire paper, okay? So to make an argument about your topic, you need to have an argument. So first we need to establish, okay, let's say that we are talking about in topic sentence number 1, body paragraph number 1, we're talking about what professors can do to create a more effective classroom. Okay, now I'm gonna start my argument with introducing more of the topic, giving more context, providing more specifics, but also prepping my reader to absorb a topic or to absorb research or analysis that I have found in doing research. So The reason we have to do that is because we can't just throw a quote randomly into an essay, right? We have to integrate it, or we have to what we call embed the quote so it's seamless in our paper. It's not just jumping out to the reader. It's very seamless in our argument into it and then back out of it. Okay? So for that, you are going to make an argument. So you might say something like, for example, so your topic sentence might say something like, to encourage or to facilitate, let's see, how would we want to say this? To ensure difficult discourse is had, but also to ensure students are protected, professors must create an effective classroom. Let's say that's our topic sentence. Then I might say something like, for example, at Los Angeles Trade Technical College, a few professors who are part of the Friends Committee, Friends Committee, have began working together to create effective classrooms by creating a more comfortable space for students to learn and by encouraging students to speak. Okay, that is my own language as the writer. I haven't brought in research yet. I'm simply introducing a more specific topic or argument that is also supporting the overall argument of that paragraph. So now I'm saying, hey, there's a school that's already doing this. There's a school that we need to look at. And that's what I want to do, right? I want to bring in sources that make my reader say, oh, okay, like, yeah, they already have done their research. So I'm introducing it using my own words. I'm not throwing a quote at them. I'm saying, here's a school who's already doing it. Let's take a look at what they're doing, okay? So that is your make an argument and provide context, okay? Keyword there, context. Then I move on to the next point, which is claim number 1. And I have written here, this is where you quote a scholarly source. So then I might bring in a quote from that article that I'm reading or from the interview that I'm watching that includes the information about what Trade Tech's Friends Committee is doing, right? So I might say something like, in an article written by Sarah Gonzalez, Professor so-and-so states, quote, okay? It's as simple as that. So I'm saying in an article titled this, written by so-and-so says this, quote, okay? So we see how we transitioned. We went from the overall argument in the topic sentence. We transitioned into providing more context about a source or about research or about an analysis we are about to perform. And then we are bringing in that research. We are bringing in that quote or paraphrase, whatever it is we're doing, right? So we see that we're constantly transitioning the reader. Okay, this is my argument. Here's somebody who's doing it. Here's an example from the source, okay? That's how that works. Now, right under the claim, you have this green section here, which reads, explain the significance of the source and how it applies to your argument, okay? The other way that I like to look at this, and I'm writing here in purple, is to look at it as a dissection, okay? So this green part here is going to be your dissection as the reader, or as the writer, as the person doing the analysis of the argument. This is going to be your dissection of this, which is the source that you found here. Okay, so dissection of source previously mentioned. Here. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start dissecting this. And the reason I call it dissection is because you should be so familiar with your research and so passionate about your research, so feeling that research is so important that you understand it so deeply that you can explain it further to the reader, okay? So that is what you're supposed to do. You take the research that you just presented to the reader in the yellow section, which is considered the claim, and you're going to further explain it, further prove to your reader why that source is important, why should they pay attention to it, okay? So you might say, if the Friends Committee has seen great success in students' grades, has seen the equity gap continue to close, and the reason they're able to do this is because professors are creating a really healthy atmosphere for students to contribute to the conversation. So you see that I didn't simply repeat my source. I'm getting deeper into it. I'm providing more dissection, more analysis of that claim to further my argument, okay? So I don't want to keep repeating my argument, just argument. I want to further the argument. I want to continue showing my reader that, hey, this is bigger than the argument. There's more to it. There's more of this that we need to continue to bury so that you, as the reader, can understand why I am arguing what I am arguing in this paper. All right? Then the next section, which is pretty simple here, is the, where are we at? Right here. Reiterate your claim / transition. This is a really simple sentence or a couple sentences that basically will move your reader from this chunk of information you gave them, which is you providing context, your quote, your analysis of the quote or analysis of the source. And this sentence is you're moving them from this chunk into the next chunk. And sometimes that sentence is as simple as, if we're using the example I gave before, I might say something like, other schools like Trade Tech have seen great success in allowing students to speak more to create a comfortable atmosphere where they can, whatever it is. All right, I'm kind of just winging it right now. Okay, but basically I'm saying there's other schools that are doing this, or there's other people that are doing this, or there's other research that shows that this is effective, that my argument is correct, and here it is. So you basically move them from this section here, and you're saying, okay, now we're moving into this section, okay? And that's all it is. It's really simple. So if you take a look at your body paragraphs, you'll notice that the same things, it's the same pattern over and over again, right? I have my context, I have my source, I have my dissection, I have my reiteration or transition, reiteration being you sum it up, tie it up. And then in my next paragraph here, we'll see the same thing, okay? I got my topic sentence, boom. Then I got 1, 2, 3, reiteration, 1, 2, 3, and on the next page, reiteration. So it's the same pattern over and over and over again. And that's the really cool thing about using a template is instead of just going blindly, walking blindly into an assignment and being like, oh, gotta write this essay, I'm just gonna include whatever I can, whatever I think is important. You really have a clear understanding of this is how I convince my reader. I provide context, I provide proof, I provide further analysis, I move them on to the next source, I provide more context, I provide more proof, I provide more analysis, boom, move them on to the next topic. That's really how you communicate an effective argument is you keep saying, okay, you keep developing it. And I think a lot of the times when we are introduced to writing or to essay writing without being taught the components that make up the different paragraphs, we just start to throw in a bunch of stuff and hope that, you know, something's gonna stick. And that's really not how it's supposed to be, right? You wanna make sure that every sentence has an intention, right? You wanna make sure every single part of your paper has an intention. And if it doesn't, you really need to evaluate if the information is actually critical to your argument or if you're just adding it there for fluff. So that's what this does here. It keeps the fluff out of the paper and it keeps all the good stuff in it. And it also helps you realize where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are. So maybe you're really awesome at thesis statements and topic sentences, but you have a really, really hard time doing dissections. Well, you're gonna be able to see that with this template. You're gonna be able to see, oh, okay, my dissection is shorter than my claim, and it really shouldn't be shorter than my claim because this is where I'm trying to analyze it and give more to my reader. So yeah, I need to go back and I need to beef up these areas. So that's what the body paragraphs are. Over and over again, every body paragraph is the same. Obviously, you're just gonna use a different topic because each body paragraph will have a different topic. But now you know the different components that make up the body paragraphs. Have a good day, guys.